everybody, and welcome to Backup Game Day Show 2. You heard me right. Count them. 1, 2. It is your ticket to IT acceleration through backup. I'm Paul Giringelli.
And I'm Michael Wilkie.
Michael, this is weird. What's going on here? A sequel?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's like that Sally Field moment. They like us.
They like us.
Now, I heard the fist bump went kind of viral.
Yeah, fist bump did go viral.
All right, we've got to add a little something special. Give me some explosion
Ready?
right here, right now. No, seriously. Nice. All kidding aside, it is really great to be back with you and your team to talk about some new stuff for our second show. Yeah,
it's awesome to be back. You know, that first show really was a big success, and we hope this one will be the same. We've got a ton of great content to cover today. So.
All right, a lot of work, so let's get to it. Now, for the benefit of our first-time viewers to Game Day, this show really is all about how backup should not be seen only as a defensive tactic, but also an offensive strategy that can deliver game-changing business results. Now, the last time we were here, we heard from customers, we heard from guest analysts, and also EMC's own backup CTO, Stephen Manley, about why backup needs to transform. And we learned that with a solid game plan, this transformation can actually help accelerate your business. So, Michael, I guess the question on everybody's mind right now is, what are we going to bring new to the table for our second show?
So, if you remember, last show, we laid out, 3 fundamental building blocks around consolidation, particularly consolidating to a protection storage architecture, tight integration with the data sources in a much more solutions-oriented way, and data management services. Now, we believe all 3 of these building blocks are absolutely necessary to be able to build a next-generation data protection storage architecture. Now, you need that to not only stay ahead of today's IT realities around massive data growth and a rapid shift towards virtualization, but you also need it to help accelerate your transformation to delivering IT as a service. So, if you recall, in that first show, we talked about consolidation and integration, the first 2 components. And in this show, we want to drill down into those data management services, particularly those services that help our customers gain visibility and the added capabilities that they're going to need to really accelerate their business.
Well, that all sounds really great, and I'm sure that our customers are probably wanting to know more a little bit about how data management services actually fit into sort of the entire game plan. And for that discussion, we are bringing back the man.
The myth.
The legend, or in this case, the Manley. Stephen Manley, he is going to kick off that discussion. That's coming up next, right after this break.
When NetApp filers fail, your Yahoo Sports Fantasy League crashes. When your Yahoo Sports Fantasy League crashes, it starts a ripple effect that leads to the collapse of the free market system. When the free market system collapses, it means communism. When it's communism, it means you go back to the Stone Age. When you go back to the Stone Age, you find that NetApp has already been there for years. Don't go back to the Stone Age with NetApp. Transform yourself with EMC.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Backup Game Day Show 2. Paul Giringelli here with Michael Wilkie. And joining us on the set now is CTO for EMC, Stephen Manley. And Stephen, I'm missing the whiteboard. What's going on there? You're upgrading to a computer?
Well, I was banished from the whiteboard. They said I colored like a 2-year-old.
Things are good for EMC. We've got a computer.
Well, you really suck at drawing.
No, seriously, it's really great to have you back on board. Just, if you can, recap for us how the data management services sort of fits into the whole architecture.
Absolutely. So, if you remember in the first version of Game Day, one of the things we talked about is how backup can make a difference in the velocity of business. Right. So, for example, those companies that are transforming their backup infrastructures, well, they're moving faster. They've accelerated their business, their IT teams move faster, and they're giving better service to their lines of business, which helps them innovate. On the other hand, those teams really still stuck in legacy monolithic architectures, well, they're having trouble keeping up with what's happening in IT, and they're ending up in what we call the accidental architecture, where there's chaos in their environments. So on the one hand, we had backup can make your business move faster, or the other hand, if you're not investing, well, backup can actually go more slowly. So we all remember that, right?
Yep. Right, absolutely.
Excellent. So now we've spent a lot of time working with teams to see, all right, who's been successful? And the key success element in terms of making backup accelerate business, it's about the backup team adopting what we call a service provider mindset. So the backup team shifting away from how do I force fit you into my legacy infrastructure, regardless of what you need, and really shifting to ask that question of how do I help you accelerate your business? How do I deliver what my customers need so I can make things move faster? That service mindset has really been the big shift that we've seen in a lot of the customers. So if you look across the environment then, what we find is you need to adopt a new architecture. And so this is where we bring up the EMC protection storage architecture. Now the core of that architecture, what we talked about last time, is that protection storage element. So that's where you really need to start from, is I need that protection storage that's going to help me really hold all my different backup data, regardless of whether a DBA is running his or her own backup, or the virtualization team is doing something with their backups, or the storage team is leveraging technologies at that level. You need one spot where you can consolidate all that backup data onto one element, and that's that protection storage. So that was the first element. Now the second element, to really make that consolidation on protection storage work, you've got to integrate with the data sources. That's that data source integration that we showed there. And that matters whether you're in a physical environment, a virtual environment, whether you're looking at your application. Again, the DBA has tools and there are elements in his application that allow the backups to run faster and, more importantly, the recoveries to happen more quickly. The storage team has tools that can also make that enhanced. And of course, the virtualization team can do a lot of things that are built into those tools. So to be able to make that protection storage consolidation work, you've got to integrate with the data sources. So that's a lot of what we covered last time. Right. Protection storage, integration with the data sources to get the performance on backup and recovery. Right? So that's where we were. But there's really a third part to the architecture. It's this top part here, the data management services that spans across everything. That's that key component you need to tie it all together. Because when it comes down to it, if you're the backup team and you're just providing storage that holds all the backups, well, that's not enough. Because you need to know that those backups are recoverable. You need to know that the protection is hitting the policy that you expect. Both backups are happening frequently enough and they're being held for long enough. You need to know that they're being held in the right locations, at the right security levels. You need to know that, frankly, when it comes down to it, when you need your data, it's going to be there for you. Just having the storage isn't enough. You need that data management services to work across the entire environment. So this has really been the focus for us since the last game day. How do we help organizations bring in those consolidated data management services? And what we found is it really comes down to two things. The first, you need visibility, right? It's all about the visibility. Right. Because, again, if anyone's running their backups, right, the backup team needs to know where they are so they can track them, they can catalog them, they can make sure that everything's working properly. But you're the backup team. Simply having visibility into what other people are doing, that's not good enough. You also need to add some value-added services on top. And that's where, when we've sat down with the teams that have been successful, they've said when they work with their app teams or they work with their hypervisor teams, the thing they find is those teams are looking for them to add services like the catalog, like centralized reporting, like visibility across the protection storage, being able to scale it, being able to hit the right performance, being able to replicate offsite to a different location. Those are the services they're looking for the backup team to provide for them. So if we roll back, backup can absolutely accelerate your business. That makes sense. The way the backup can accelerate the business is you need to take that service provider mindset. To deliver on that service provider mindset, you need the entire new protection storage architecture. And what ties that protection storage architecture together is the consolidated data management services that gives backup teams the visibility across what's happening, but also then the value-added services that brings their customers coming back asking for more.
Perfect. Yeah, great explanation.
Yeah.
So Stephen, here's what we know. EMC's protection storage architecture is the game plan that you need to follow, correct, to get IT transformation into high gear. Today, I think we want to put the spotlight on data management services. So what I'm hearing from you, two things, really, visibility and value-added capabilities. And Michael, I know those phrases sound good, but come on, bro, where's the proof?
Hey, in my best Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the proof.
They got to you too?
Yes,
no, you guys, I thought this was a secret. What's going on? Well, we're going to find out for sure if I can handle the proof. That's coming up next, right after this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When you can't migrate your growing business out of Amazon Web Services, you feel locked in. When you feel locked in, you want to break free. When you want to break free, you try to bungee jump off a landmark bridge. When you bungee jump off a landmark bridge, you get arrested and they lock you up. When you get arrested and locked up, you feel twice as locked in. Don't get locked in twice. Transform yourself with EMC.
Hey everybody, it is Backup Game Day Show 2. I'm Paul Garanghelli with Michael Wilkie, and joining us on the set right now from the Data Domain team is Caitlin Gordon. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Michael, is Caitlin packing the proof that I clearly cannot handle?
Absolutely. Actually, Caitlin is one of two great proof points that we have today that talk to how data management services fits into the overall protection storage architecture. So the way I look at this, it's a lot like you wouldn't go play football or soccer or baseball with a blindfold on because you simply couldn't see the field. And that's a great setup to the product that Caitlin's going to talk to us about today, our Data Domain Management Center.
This is how I play my golf game, by the way. I just got to throw that in there.
I've heard
Can you
that.
help my golf game?
I find that usually helps.
Okay, good.
Taking the
Nice.
blindfold
All
off.
right, good.
Usually
Good
a
deal.
good way to
All
start.
right, so what do you got? Let's hear it.
So this is how you can take the blindfold off and you can actually see your entire environment if you've got multiple data domain systems. And that's the Data Domain Management Center. So I've got a few screenshots here, and I wanted to show you how this product can really help you get a visual aggregate view if you've got multiple data domain systems in your environment, how you can see all of those. Sound good?
Excellent.
So we'll start off with the health and status monitoring. So what we have here is a great dashboard, which gives you an ability to create these widgets, up to 12 widgets, completely customizable to how many systems, whatever filters you want to put on there. And you can see with the example we have here, we've created a different dashboard for the different divisions. So you have the health and the capacity and the replication stats for different systems in these different divisions. Now next, you can get an even more simple view. You just have basically a list of all the systems in there and their status if they're reachable, DD boost working, replication working. So you get the overall view. So does that make sense?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So we're just getting started though.
Okay.
There's more.
All right.
But wait.
But wait.
But wait. Right.
So next is capacity. This is storage in the end. We need to see what's going on with the capacity here. So the example we have here, we've got about 10 systems that we're looking at, we're filtering on there, but we selected 3 of them specifically. So we're focused in on those 3 systems, and we're going to look at a few key things. We're going to look at how much capacity was sent to it, how much it's actually storing, and then the big thing, this is a data domain deduplication storage system, the dedupe ratio. What's the capacity that you're actually saving there? Now you also see here there's a slider. So you can actually look at that capacity utilization over a period of time to see how much is being consumed on that system. Now, next up, we look at replication. The biggest thing we do with almost every data domain system, you replicate to another one. There's a couple views you can look at this. There's a pairs view, a cascaded view, and then there's topology. We're looking at the topology here, which really shows you the different pairs and who's replicating to who. On the right-hand side here, we've got the different pairs, and you can see what type of replication they're using. You can click and get even more details. That makes sense to you guys?
Yes, absolutely.
And then the last one here is reporting. So we've got this capability to create reports, custom reports, based on the status, the replication, the capacity for systems in different environments. And then you can have the Data Domain Management Center run that report on a regular basis. And you can send that report out to whoever is the stakeholder for those systems. So say you have 4 different sites around the country, you set up a report for each one of those sites and send it to the users in that site. So it's automated and it gets sent to them, and you don't have to have any manual intervention from anyone. We walked through a few of these screenshots, but really the best way to check this out, just go down, download it yourself. You can go to my.datadomain.com, download the 90-day evaluation and check it out yourself.
Free?
Awesome.
Free.
Fantastic.
You in? You going to try it, Michael?
All in. Michael, that sounds like 100 proof, and you know what? My head's not even spinning. I love it when that happens. That's fantastic.
That was a great job. We talk about, massive data growth, right? Mm-hmm. And to accommodate that, you need systems that have scalability, and you don't get to that scalability unless you can have visibility into it.
So scalability, that means we're climbing, right?
Yep, we are.
And we're climbing to a new level. We're going to get to that next, right?
Yes, we are.
See how I'm picking up this stuff? It's awesome. We'll be back with more right after this break.
When you don't transform your backup, you can't protect your mission-critical virtual environment. When you can't protect your mission-critical virtual environment, your VMware admin laughs at you. When your VMware admin laughs at you, you get depressed and let yourself go. When you let yourself go, your family schedules an intervention. When your family schedules an intervention, you end up in an institution with a large, angry roommate. When you have a large, angry roommate, he eats your candy bar. Don't let your large, angry roommate eat your candy bar. Transform your backup with EMC.
Hey everybody, we're back. It's the Backup Game Day Show, Part 2. Now, Michael, I think one thing that has really become clear is that the game itself is changing. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
And that can mean really only one thing, that you need new strategies to win. Now, we've talked a lot about how the playing field is shifting. There's new roles, new options, new expectations, really. So the question isn't, how do you stay on top? Well, one way is with EMC's Data Protection Advisor. And that's what our next guest is here to talk about. Rick Walsworth, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, if I say DPA, is that going to make me cool and like an insider?
DPA is good. No, DPA is good.
Good. Basic question. Let's start off with the basics. What exactly is Data Protection Advisor?
Yeah, great question. We get that all the time. So what Data Protection Advisor is, it's a tool that allows you in a heterogeneous environment to be able to take a look at your entire environment. And it gives visibility into your data center environment. Much like a quarterback has visibility into the defense and can call audible at the last minute to be able to make changes on the fly. DPA provides that same capability. So that capability now allows you to be able to go in, understand what the changes in your infrastructure are, and allow you to be able to make changes real time. So DPA really consists of a number of components, and those components allow you to be able to, first off, discover everything in the environment. So I could look at everything from applications to servers to virtual machines, all the way down to the backup infrastructure itself, and then gives me a view, after I analyze that data, gives me a view end-to-end of what that means. So I now have the ability to be able to take that and be able to run out across the environment in real time and be able to provide reports back to the people that need it. Now that isn't just the service providers or the IT staff itself, this is also the users within the environment. So now the users can actually have a view of what their service looks like within it, so that now the accountability goes back not just to the IT and the service providers, but also to the users themselves. So it's a very powerful tool.
Now, I understand there is a new version of Data Protection Advisor coming out. What are we up to? What number are we up to?
DPA 6.
All right, awesome,
yeah.
Great. Tell me about that. What's in store?
So essentially what DPA 6 is, it's a much faster, better version of DPA. Essentially, if you look at it, we've provided, and from the beginning, DPA has had a loyal customer base. Today, we're well over 10,000 customers. And when you have that many customers, they provide a lot of feedback. Some of it's good, maybe some of it's not so good, right? They tell you what's working and what's not. So what we try to do is we try to take that feedback and put it in and really break it into 3 different components. A brand new user interface. So the user interface is very intuitive, right? I can get to information quickly. And one of the key pieces of information and feedback we got from those customers is it's good data, but they want to be able to find it quickly, right? Want to be able to get access to it more quickly. So there's a brand new, essentially, user interface. And the nice thing about the user interface is it's very familiar to how customers are used to using it today. So for example, if I have Unisphere in my environment today, I have the icons in all the right places, the dashboards are laid out real nice, very intuitive, but it's very familiar to that set of customers. So as I go across different EMC products, I have the same look and feel for those particular capabilities. The other thing we have is a brand new analysis engine. So that analysis engine actually provides a much faster interpretation of the data and presentation of the data itself. And then on top of that, the ability to be able to customize those views so that whether I'm a provider of the service or a consumer of the service, I get a different view of the environment. And we'll show you some of that as we actually walk through the demonstration today.
Awesome. So are we going to see that demonstration now?
I think so.
Yeah, why not?
We're ready. All right, great.
No time like the present.
So within this demonstration, I'm going to provide essentially an overview of what Data Protection Advisor provides. And first, the first thing you're going to see here is actually it's a brand new user interface. As I mentioned before, everything's right at the touch. I have the ability at the left to be able to get dashboards, which I'm showing you right now. And the dashboards provide essentially at a glance, what's the health of the system? Is everything going good? And as typically you get in dashboards, green is good, red is bad, right? So if I see red within the dashboard, it gives me the ability to be able to drill right down. Now, as I take a closer look at this, I'm going to go in and look at some of the key performance indicators. So these are things that, as a provider, are very important for me as I'm managing my backup. So as you can see with our creative names for customers, I've got Acme Inc., Nobles Co., and Widgets Incorporated, right? And everything good. So I can tell right now, if I'm a provider, that my customers are happy. But if I wanted to drill down now and be able to go in and run a report against that, I now have the ability to run reports very easily. And as I mentioned before, some of the feedback our customers provided us was that the data's good, it just takes too many clicks to get there. So now we have actually built a wizard in that allows me the ability to be able to select a scope, so I now know what am I reporting on. I can actually say, well, which objects and which reports do I want to use, and then over which period of time do I want to get it.
So it kind of allows you to cut to the chase much quicker.
Exactly. 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. So now we provide this information not only to the providers, but then also the users can go in and actually see how are my providers doing against what I've signed up for. The other thing we do is we provide a report card. And what this report card provides is, again, at a glance, how are things looking within the environment? So again, red is bad, green is good. And I can see here that I actually have a failed indication right in here, and I can go in and I can drill down specifically on that failure. So I can click on any cell to be able to determine what the cause of that is, and then it opens up a new window automatically that provides that information at a glance. So it provides the ability at a glance to be able to drill down on specific issues that allows me to have faster troubleshooting, better time to resolution, but then all wrapped up into a nice package. Finally, as any part of a service provider environment, one of the other things you want to do is, what's my inventory of resources and assets within this environment? So I can now look across my entire environment as a service provider, and I can see all the customers that I have broken out here. So within this screen, what you see now is you see the breakdown of Acme, Nobles Co., and Widgets, my fictional customers within this environment, and I can actually drill down. And it now provides me a view of everything that's happening within those environments. But now as I drill down, if indeed I want the ability to be able to provide additional views within that, I now have the ability to be able to provide essentially a breakdown and break those into groups that are important to my business or important to my customer's business. It gives me the ability to be able to map this, for example, into regulatory compliance. So if it's an SEC or a HIPAA type compliance, I can actually group my resources into those categories and allow me or my customers to be able to manage that very effectively. Now, likewise, if indeed I had multiple objects that belonged in different groups, I have the ability to flexibly put those into different groups very easily, allowing me that capability so that if I want to run reports, for example, on everything in the Americas, I can do so and have those resources there. Or everything that's based on our web systems, everything goes there as well. So it gives you a lot of capabilities. Finally, if I'm a user, I will also want that visibility. So while the service provider can see everything within their environment, the user only wants to see the things within their environment. So for example, Acme Inc. doesn't want to see anything with Nobles Co. and Widgets Inc. So I have the ability to be able to break that out and provide a view to that customer, and they can only see those assets within the environment. Finally, from a resource management standpoint, you also want to be able to go in and manage the policies. So there's a very powerful policy engine within Data Protection Advisor that does provide very comprehensive analysis of that, but then also the ability to charge back. Because as we were talking before about cloud and the movement towards IT as a service, you want the ability to be able to charge back for those services that are being offered. So what DPA provides is the ability to map those chargeback policies back to the services that are being delivered, all from a simple, easy-to-use interface. So one last example here, and I'll show you how easy it is to apply a policy. So what I have is a chargeback policy library. Essentially, that is the library of policies that this service provider is offering within this environment. Now, I have the ability at any time to be able to take and apply a chargeback policy to a customer. So for example, for the backups, if I want to apply the backup policy via DPA using this chargeback capability, it's essentially just a single click to turn that on. So that switch turns that on, and now it's automatically charged back to that particular customer. And then when I go to run reports, I get reports that are pulled back exactly from that particular policy. And again, it's applied on a very consistent manner out across the environment. So as you can see, the tools that are provided by Data Protection Advisor really provide a lot of those capabilities built in.
Great job.
Yeah, awesome. And Rick, DPA 6 is available now?
It is available now. Actually, we have, it's available for download, so you can actually, if you're an existing customer, there's an entitlement to DPA 6 at no cost. For new customers that are interested in it, you can actually trial this. So we have a trial version. You can go to EMC.com and download this. Really.
More free stuff.
Yeah, more free stuff. We love that. I mean, it's really an impressive solution. It's hard to imagine why anyone wouldn't want to use that as a solution. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I mean, all the right things, right? Visibility, value-added capabilities, all of that moving to you to more of an IT as a service model, whether you're actually an internal service provider or an external service provider.
Exactly.
Yep.
We have covered a lot of ground. I mean,
Sure
I'm out
did.
of breath and I haven't even moved. We are going to come back in just a minute and we're going to wrap this whole thing up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you don't transform your backups keep failing, and you get frustrated. When you get frustrated, you try to relax. When you try to relax, you fall asleep and sleepwalk. When you fall asleep and sleepwalk, you wake up in a biker bar and have to join a gang. When you have to join a gang, you get a large tattoo of your new gang girlfriend's name on your neck. Don't get a tattoo of your gang girlfriend's name on your neck. Transform your backup with EMC.
We're back from the break, just about out of time, but a few minutes left for Michael. You are the coach, captain, GM, leader, the whole 9 yards. Let's hear your final thoughts.
Well, thanks for that. Well, my final thoughts are that EMC's strategy is clearly rooted in a protection storage architecture. And frankly, there's really nobody else out there in the industry who's executing it against a vision that's quite like this. Now, why is that important? Well, we firmly believe that given today's IT realities, that a one-size-fits-all singular approach just won't win. So EMC can help you transform. We can lead you in that transformation wherever you are today to help you become more agile, efficient, and productive. So, how can you get more information? Well, you certainly can get it here on the EMC Community Network, where a lot of you people are watching this broadcast today. You can go to EMC.com. You can talk to our sales reps and any of our 6,000 partners worldwide. And if I could just give a shameless shout out to EMC World coming up in May in Las Vegas, where we'll have well over 20 sessions devoted to transformation, not only of backup, but archive as well. So, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, check out our blog, The Backup Window, get engaged, and let's see how we can help you move to a winning strategy.
Sounds good. Game on.
Game
Thank
on.
you, sir. It was fun. Had a good time.
Me too.
He's Michael Wilkie. I'm Paul Garangelli. Thanks for watching. Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe Backup Game Day Show 2.5. Who knows?
3.
Right? Yeah. Walsworth's got a 6. I want a 6. It's going to happen. Maybe, maybe not. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.